Action.
All right, so MAC 248 production procedures. Today was the 5th of March. Today was the day for the midterm review. This is the 8th week of the semester, the midpoint of it. My 3 talks were on the milestones of our course schedule in the syllabus that dealt with the goal, then the critical chapters, and then at the end I talked about the big picture. So in week 1, we started with strategy and tactics versus project and process. And here is my graphic for that. This is a deductive essay format. But strategy is the 20,000-foot view. It's like the big, broad statement in this essay question. It boils down to tactics on of the granular level. Then in the body of the deductive essay are 3 points. I always have 3 talks every day, if you notice. I try to tell you 3 things. Tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then tell you what I just told you. All right? But strategy and tactics are both scheming type methods, planning, if you will. The difference between them is the level at which they're done. 20,000 foot, right on the ground level with the grunts in the trenches. That's what tactics are. They are both alike in that they are both planning processes and scheming methods to win a game. I believe that they're much more closely related to that, to game theory. Project and process, well, we said that a project has a life. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has 5 life cycles. You're going to need to know that on the test. You're going to be able to contrast that with process. A process does not live in any one period of time where it has a beginning, middle, and an end. It just kind of goes on and on. Your life, your own life, has a beginning and a middle and an end, and it is a project. But life in general, life goes on after you're gone. So those were the difference between them. Project management had these 5 phases. That was the next milestone. We went over that in all kinds of phases in the goal. We said that the initiation phase was Mr. Rogo sitting in his car looking at the plant and trying to figure out what was going on. By stepping away and looking at it from a strategic view, he was trying to get in his head straight what he knew and what he didn't know about what was going on in the plant, and so on. At the end of the book, we have a closing phase where everybody states their lessons learned. Now that they have succeeded in saving their jobs and they have got great net profit going, what lessons did they learn, good and bad? Well, but the main lesson that they learned is they can't sit still. They can't rest on their laurels. We moved on into measuring and controlling. By getting these throughput, inventory, and operating cost numbers instead of the old cost accounting numbers that they used, they were able to put decent numbers to the 2 major production procedures improvements of red tag, green tag, and having the lot sizes. When they got those numbers, they knew, hey, we're on our way to meeting the goal. And then they measured and controlled each one of those 2 projects and got even more profit out of the thing. So they applied continuous improvement and more than succeeded at what they were trying to do. These are basic accounting equations, and this is that bottom line thing. When you take all of your income and you minus your expenses, that's your bottom line or your net profit margin. This seems like a very simple thing to say, but companies play games with it all the time. And the most important thing is there was no bottom line at the beginning of the goal. They increased their profit margin 20%. Well, then they were making 20% net profit because that was what they were coming up with from nothing. This is an old keystoning formula that I think is important. The price you charge your customers should be all of your costs times 2. Unless you're first to market, then you can charge whatever the market will bear. But this is kind of what was going on in the goal as well. 38% is the net profit tax margin on American corporations, and that's where that led us. We talked for a week about continuous improvement in the goal by going into great detail about bottlenecks and constraints. We went then on to the measurable success at the end when they were closing the project. After they had measured and controlled it the second time, what lessons not only did they learn, but what were their new measurements? And then everybody takes these new measurements to their new jobs because they all get promoted for succeeding so wildly. But Rogo is really not happy at the end because he still doesn't have what he thinks are the techniques for managing the entire division that he needs. So he is not resting on his laurels. He is committed to continuous improvement. The critical chapters in the book, I told you, they're mainly the ones that do with the execution and measuring and control phase of those two major improvements. And the big picture in the end was, well, before I get to that, how can you pass this test? Well, you can know the basic parts of the theory of constraints. You'll remember the 4 setup times. You'll remember and be able to talk at length about the 2 major production procedure improvements of red tag, green tag, and having the lot sizes. You will have read the book and understood everything. You will watch these recaps like I'm doing now, and you will read all the notes and everything that you took during class. If you do all that, then you should be able to get an A on this test. The big picture of what I've been trying to teach you up to this point and all the way through, because now that we're done with the goal, we're going to move on to the next textbook, but this is the big picture for this class. If you do project management with an attitude of continuous improvement, then you cannot help but succeed. We'll see you Tuesday before a midterm exam with 35 to 40 questions of various types. Thank you.